My name is Chief Callistus Elezuwa. I'm the Board of Trustees Chairman of Nigeria's Diaspora Organization. I personally want to grant this interview because I want to draw attention to some certain things. One is the power of communication. We should understand that communication is a tool that can make or make people. If we are able to use it positively, it will impact the life of our citizens. If we use them negatively, it will also cause problems that we might not have the capacity to solve.
That we should try and make sure that the press does not make mess of the news against the image of our nation. So that was what actually we did. We prevented some of the Ghanaian media houses to go there.
So this man right here was part of the task force that rescued the 231 Nigerians who had been human trafficked into Ghana. He didn't want the image of Nigeria tarnished. You heard him say that. So they went around our media houses and gagged them, prevented them from reporting on this story. What he's basically saying here is that what's good for the gander is not good for the goose. They can gag people from speaking when it tarnishes Nigeria. But when it's the other way around, when it's tarnishing the image of Ghana, they couldn't care less. They want to gag us. It's not going to work. And this man has been here at least 20 years. These are people who live amongst us and claim to care for Ghanaians. He doesn't care that the 419 man who calls himself king is going around baselessly lying and labeling Ghanaians who call him out as xenophobic. Hi everyone, welcome to Ghana Observer, and thanks for stopping by. Thanks so much to all my subscribers for your consistent support, and to all my new subscribers, you are most welcome, and thank you for all your subscriptions. I appreciate you all. Before we get back to that so-called press conference, I wanted to touch on a couple of important announcements. The first is the nationwide protest against the Igbo king in Ghana to abolish his kingdom, which is already going downhill. He's come out to say he's not going to, but with him you have to keep your eyes open. You have to be vigilant and eagle eyes on him all the time. It's going to be July 19th at 9 a.m. sharp at the Independence Square, which is next week Saturday. And come with your country, your red, yellow, green, Ghana, black star. Bring your country colors. Arise, Ghana youth, for our country. So be there or be square. So make sure you're there. The second announcement is our Founders Day celebration to celebrate our Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on his birthday, which is 21st September, a Sunday. Free entry at 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. at the Ifua Sutherland Children's Park. Yeah, and that's it. And I'm back to dissect this press conference.
I want to first start by saying who we are. We are Igbos. And Igbos are peaceful people. We are Nigerians. Nigerians are peaceful people.
No, you're not. You are not a peaceful people. Instead of thanking Ghanaians for our hospitality and creating a peaceful, conducive environment for Nigerians to live, as you said, peacefully, why didn't you mention the recent unaliving of 2 Ghanaians? One had actually loaned money to a Nigerian woman who refused to pay, then called her thug son, who brought along 10 other thugs, including his sister. With a pair of scissors, they unalived the person who they should have been grateful to for loaning them money in their time of need. No, but they're going to show their ungratefulness and they're nowhere to be found apart from the one who used the scissors. Why didn't you mention and apologize for the unaliving of Patrick Tete, who was unalived by 3 Nigerian criminals who hired him as a taxi driver to drive them to Aflao? On the way, they unalived him and stole his car. 2 got away. I guess the one who felt he was bold was trying to escape to wherever he was going and was apprehended by Ghana police. And he led them to where they disposed of Patrick Tete's body like some garbage. Ghanaian security services have their hands full dealing with Ghanaian criminals. We don't need an importation of foreign criminals. Absolutely not. Here's what one of your own governors had to say.
I've been in office for three years and 3 months, okay? If we have arrested 100 criminals, non-mafia, kidnappers, and so on and so forth. 99.99% of them were Igbo. Did you hear me right? Yes. I said 99.99% of them were Igbo. So these things are unmade because that was part of the lie that was put in propaganda. They are into kidnapping because it is the next lucrative business after Yahoo and drug. The next one for find is about kidnapping. And this is even other states. If I repeat, and I want you to quote me right. 99.99% of all the criminals, kidnappers, and so on that were arrested so far, Igbos are the ones kidnapping Igbos. They are the ones killing Igbos. All these camps.
So the truth about the matter is that the Igbos are not building any kingdom anywhere. The Igbos have not bought any land in any part of Ghana to build any kingdom. The Igbos do not have any intention to build any kingdom. The Igbos will not support anybody who will have that intention to build any kingdom. It cannot build any kingdom in another kingdom. People were talking about the viral video that went round. That video that went round was a pronouncement that was made 12 years ago. And somebody intentionally brought that video out to cause confusion. That was a video the Igbo made when he was being interviewed after the coronation. He was trying to put across what his vision would be for the people he's leading. And unfortunately, people twisted it to be a building of kingdom. If you go and listen to that video, he said an Igbo village. He never said an Igbo kingdom. I want you people to go back and listen to it again and again and again.
The father of all projects on his mind is the establishment of the first Igbo town in Ghana and, of course, the first in the world.
But I'm creating Igbo village, which has never happened in the history of the world among the Igbos in the world. As I'm talking to you, I've acquired 50 acres of land, that is 250 plus of land, along the Flower Road, that is at Old Ningo area. But along that road, it's right on the road, I acquired 250 plus of land. My reason of acquiring this land is to build Igbo village in Ghana. I call it Amandi Igbo in Ghana. We'll build a village where we're going to build the palace of Igbo there, a huge palace. Where we're going to build the palace of Igbo there, a huge palace. Where we're going to build the palace of Igbo there, a huge palace.
The reason why people talk about kingdom is because this 419 confused man who calls himself king started off by saying that he was going to build a town. Then he said he would build a village. Then he said he would build a palace. Who lives in a palace? Is it peasants? Is it subjects? Or is it a king? And he has self-proclaimed himself as king. So if he's building a palace, is it the peasants or his so-called subjects who are going to live in it? Or is it a king? And if he's a so-called king, the logical conclusion of any sane person would be that he's building a kingdom. That's where kingdom was derived from. So yes, we've listened to it and we understand him perfectly. So all your lies don't wash. You say that since 2012, he hasn't talked about Igbo village again. That's an outright lie. Here he is at the Igbo festival in 2017 talking about it.
Igbo ndị nwere mmadụ, Igbo ndị ji eme ọnụ, Igbo ndị na-aga mba tipa ndị gbagara be ha anya, anyị eburukwa bata ọzọ, ọ ka bụkwa n'ebe anyị nọ. Na-atụfughị oge ị ga-ahụ ezigbo nwoke ọma, nwoke mara mma karịcha ihe niile, ka o jirigodo nwayọ gwata ya aha ya. Eze biko gwatigodo Igbo ndị na-ele anyị aha gị.
His Majesty Eze Dr. Ambassador Chukwudi Judy Henetu, Eze ndị Igbo, the first in Ghana, Eze Ọhazurume. Nike Chineke ihe 5 years ndị Igbo bi na Ghana chiri m eze ndị Igbo ha enwekwe ndị eze udo ndị nọ under me nọ different local governments na-eso na-achịkọta ndị Igbo ha abịakwa na Ghana anyị nwere over 2 million Igbos. Ghana anyị na-eme ọfụma. I'm into trading in Ghana. I'm with other people, not entrepreneurs. Also other Nigerians who want into banking and different other areas of business life. And I'm over 200 something thousand Nigerian students in Ghana, and 60% to Igbo. And 100% Nigerians in Ghana, 60% to Igbo. So Igbos in Ghana are doing very well. I am with Igbo village. I need to develop right now in Ghana, where we're gonna have a center for the Igbos in Ghana and Igbo all over the world. We have every right to come and live there. I don't want to Ghana. I am with the Igbo speaking school, and I got every Saturday from 10 to 12. I'm with about 720 students so far. Now I'm attending Igbo school in Ghana. So Igbo school, Igbo village, Igbo, ndi Igbo bin Ghana on the Jamaica in Homa. It's up bottom back on Igbo Ikeja. So Nande se kusiri ki hona obi Igbo na Ghana. We hear seriously. And we're going to remind me na Ghana na abia. I hope you make when come on reba mana lolom when you Ghana. Nike Chineke anyị nwa recruit ndị Igbo 30th September gara aga. I received over 7,000 Nigerians, and who was there? Igbo Kingdom na Ghana, Igbo Kingdom na Ghana, Igbo Kingdom na Ghana. Wụsọsọ otu obi Igbo n'ụwa niile ndị gọọmenti ebe a nọ na be ha nabatara. Ime nchọpụta, ị ga-eme ihe bekee na-akpọ nchọpụta bekee na-akpọ research. Ị ga-ahụ na anyị nwaso na ndị eji amatụ ihe ọma na mba ụwa dị iche iche. Ile anya ji nke anyị riri ụwa niile bịara ya. Ị ga na-ahụ ya na YouTube, na-ahụ ebe niile. Gọọmenti ndị Ghana so n'ime ya, nke anyị ga-eji iri n'afọ na-abịa abịa. Gọọmenti Ghana, President Ghana si na ọwụ ndị Igbo na ndị Ghana ga-eri ka ọjị nke afọ na-abịa abịa. Nke anyị mere n'afọ a mmadụ karịrị akarị ihe karịrị puku iri asaa 7,000 people bịara. So maasị ọ ga-adịrị ndị Igbo niile mma, na-asị ndị Igbo ọbụla n'ebe anyị nọ ka anyị bulie n'omenala anyị elu, ka anyị ghara ijigide sọsọ anyị nwa. Ụmụaka anyị na-amụ kwesịrị ịma na omenala anyị bụ ihe eji ama atụ ihe ọma. Ọwụ na anyị ga-akụzi ụmụaka ya omenala, anyị agaghị ahụ echi, mana anyị akụzi ụmụaka ya omenala ha ahụ echi, ma na-enwebe ha si wepụta. Ndewo.
As you clearly heard, he said Igbo Kingdom. His words. Everything that I say about this man is from his own mouth. He is a compulsive, pathological liar. And he needs to go back to Nigeria and build his so-called kingdom. We cherish our peace in Ghana. It is a precious commodity to Ghanaians. And here he is again in this 2019 article entitled, and I'll put the link in the description so that you can all read it out, because I'm only reading the portion regarding his so-called kingdom/village. I tell my people I'm their servant, the 419 man who calls himself king said. And here you can see that it was written by Kate Da Costa, dated March 24th, 2019. He repeated himself in 2017 and again in 2019. And let's see the reason why he finally had to give it up. Some time ago, you suggested the idea of an Igbo school and village. How far with the projects? That was the question. And his answer was, the Igbo school is going on very well. We believe that in this year, we will expand it to another level. Regarding the Igbo village, we have a little issue. The sentence doesn't make sense, but basically, it went into litigation where we acquired the land. So the land they had acquired went into litigation. That means they were taken to court. But we are optimistic. Look at 2019, he was still talking like this. So he didn't give it up in 2012. We are optimistic that before the end of the year, 2019, we will have judgment over it so that we can kick off the project. Who is lying here? The bloggers or the 419 man who calls himself king? He obviously conned you all and you came out in defense of him because he can't stand the heat. I'm still waiting. He said he's suing me. I'm waiting. And now, based on all this info, listen to him not make any sense as he spouts what he knows nothing of. He's clueless.
With regards to the purported story that has to do with establishment of throne in Ghana, I know a lot of people are cashing out, they are making money by lying. I believe if the person who sent this blogging out had done the right thing by going to Ningo Pram Pram to ask the chiefs there whether there is anything like that, the chief would have given them the answer, just like the publication they made yesterday. They made it clear that no land has been acquired, no kingdom has been built or been built. And now, if you had done this little due diligence, he wouldn't have gone to deceive the public that Igbo is building a kingdom somewhere.
He is deceiving you because he kept talking about it. Not only in 2012, 2017, 2019, and he only gave up when it went into litigation. So you are the one who has been deceived. He's the one going around lying.
Secondly, the issue of our New Yam Festival, as I speak to you, this year we visited the normal traditional institutions in Ghana. I can mention one person, you can go and verify. I don't want to go further. At least the Babu Ulomo, we visited him and we told him of our intention to celebrate in their land. In terms of our New Yam Festival, we did. And other people we visited, including their distinct, and they gave their blessings before we can even proceed. Which God are you going to pour the libation to if you don't consult the owners of that God? So it's abnormal for people to start thinking that strangers can come to a strange land and assume to be the authority. It's not done, it cannot be done, and we will never be part of such. So that is the truth about the whole thing. With regards to press release that was released yesterday, we have received it.
And this is the press release he's talking about that they received, which led to their emergency press conference as well. It's dated 9th July. To all media houses, the Ga Traditional Council has observed with dismay recent happenings in the Ga state surrounding an Igbo king by name, the man who calls himself king, who has accorded himself king of Igbos in Ghana. And kudos to Ga Mantse for taking such decisive action. This is what we need from our leaders. No prevarication, just straightforward. Do what you have to do. So thank you. The Ga Traditional Council disassociates itself from all activities of the man that calls himself king. The council has never recognized anybody or person as a king of Igbos within the Ga state. Recognition of persons and their induction at the Ga Traditional Council has always been conditional upon entry of one's name in the National Register of Chiefs. The Ga Traditional Council is a creation of the state. The man that calls himself king should henceforth cease and desist from holding himself out as king of the Igbos in the Ga state by way of performing any traditional activity. All assigned paramount chiefs, this is the important thing, and divisional chiefs installed by the man who calls himself king should also henceforth cease and desist from holding themselves out as such within the Ga state. All those mini chiefs, gone. Traditional and this is the kicker right here, traditional and cultural festivities, aka Yam Festival, under the guise of importing Igbo culture, presided over by the 419 man who calls himself king in his capacity as king of the Igbos in the Ga state, should cease with immediate effect.
They are our father, he's our king, we respect him, we have good relationship with him, we are going to meet with him as a father, we are going to discuss it. If we have anything to show to him or to discuss with him as a father, we don't want it to be a media issue. We are going to relate with him according to his respect as our father. And know when we meet him as our father, he will address us as his sons. And we'll find a way to resolve our relationship. It's not for the consumption of the media. We don't want to talk about it. He has sent whatever the press release he has sent. Is our own as his children to go back to him as his sons. And we have discussions with him based on whatever we think we can tell him as his sons.
When I say these people speak with a forked tongue, glib, slick, did we not just hear him say, not a media issue, not for media consumption? So someone explain why that fancy man was there challenging what the Ga Mantse had just ruled. They are just disrespectful without being aware that they're being disrespectful. Why would you bring, the Ga Mantse has sent out an edict. Why are you bringing a fancy man because his wife is allegedly a fancy? We have lots of questions for her. Like, why are you letting your husband run amok and you are not whispering in his ear? that this is not Nigeria. But then she seems to have lost her Ghanaian identity because look at this. His wife is known as Ugozi Liberty Ihinetu. So where is the Ghanaian name? Like she's Fanti. So Efe, Kukwa. And then I saw this little nugget that his position, look at that last sentence. It is a position held till death. This man and self-aggrandizing. So something is off here. Something is off.
So I'm kind of the two remember the first hand information as to what is actually happening. I'm there so many people to go. Now let's not copy me, my man, then some remember so what the today can't do on man. They were to that yesterday and part in some can now when you want that time the chairman wasn't just say what isn't the bony primitive to work on. Kata yo kita mesemi mo ti kan ye African traditional council or a certificate of recognition o ti just there ezi people do if need to while organizing as ezi or zurumi ezi ndebo if o kan what sign them okay it's a monk of the flavor the was on the 9th of October 2013. What is the traditional council? Why did not another one organizers here for the there? What the committee other Igbo for Ghana? Manam. It's a young one there about majority of Ghana. We had the Osha baby. Another yourself in the bush or on the here. Then why the way that traditional council? I'm a white not another what is at the time. They were organizing. It's in the Ghana. So can't you the Ghana with the training? Yet a cat there, what's the end on the Nick Meadows, the Korea question, or a young festival. Kata is all the yesterday. Oh, yeah, on your Pona, Otsana, do Wagaha, Cesar, Muga, Mantse. On the Kata, shall say, or Brown will be Manapa Kennedy, Fire Festival, 110th. Anniversary. No, so I endorse the document over 2 weeks. On Shadow of a baby, and I wanted them to Kata is what it does today. Oye, Mura, Kamanche, what it does it, and it was such as today over 2 weeks. The Papa Channel. Yet, Kata Yokita Missing Miliosa, Ofi, Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture. Now, also, a letter of endorsement, Dama, no, so Ozi. That's the Ampa. Oh, yeah, it's in the book, majority. Oh, yeah, now for share and majority in us. Also, one such as say, by endorse and sign authority.
I just can't believe how gullible some of our elders are. How are you going to let yourself be used in this way? This man who calls himself king is so desperate now, he's just clutching at straws. Because now he can see that everything, all his manipulations, are crumbling before his very eyes. So he's doing everything to hang on to power. It's not going to work. Your foundation was shaky. You were dishonest. You thought you could get away with it. And that's why when you go into a space, you don't look for loopholes and take advantage and exploit, because it's going to catch up with you. And that's where you are at now. There's a reason why we are peaceful. Because Ghanaians can be as aggressive as you people. We just don't want to. We choose peace over aggressiveness. So for you to think that you can come into Ghana and manipulate and get your way, people will watch you to see whether you will self-reflect and you'll be introspective. But I'm just going to do whatever. Because these people, you have a name, right? You think Ghanaians are stupid. You have a name for us. But in the end, See? So just to get back to this gullible guy who is being used, he's showing some fake certificates, just like, the man who calls himself king gave to Empress Gifty and what's his name? Captain Smart. Those fake certificates they make up. The Mantse says, cease and desist. End of story. And you said you wouldn't do anything in the media space. But right after your press conference, emergency press conference, you've brought this fancy man to speak on your behalf. For what? Your divisive nature that works for you in Nigeria is not going to work in Ghana. How are you going to pit Ghanaians against each other? You tried it with me. How did it work out for you? Not too well from where I'm standing. You are insulting your elders. You are insulting your elders. As a matter of fact, I'm even going to look for how I'm related to the Mantse. How about that? Who knows? You can't come together. It doesn't work. We are too intertwined. And you are trying your hardest, I can tell. Now you are desperate. And desperate people do desperate things. It's not going to work for you in Ghana. Not. So, folks, I'm going to end it here. Remember, July 19th, we are all meeting at Independence Square. And then 21st September, we'll be meeting to celebrate Founders Day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.